Hello there, and welcome back to another Mega CONSTRUX review. Now, I'm going to start the video with a real quick disclaimer. Sorry if my mic quality sounds a little bit different. I'm not using my normal microphone. I was having some tech issues, and that's also why this video is coming out way later than I wanted it to. But yeah, enough of that. So today we're going to be taking a look at Sword Base Invasion. The set came out in 2019. It has 99 pieces, and I'm going to be real, there's a lot in this set that's going to make me very biased towards liking it. So, firstly, it's based on Halo Reach, which is my favorite Halo game. Number 2, it has skirmishers, and they're my favorite aliens. 3, it has yellow and blue Spartans, and yellow and blue are my 2 favorite colors. And number 4, it has the Air Assault helmet, which is my favorite Spartan helmet. So, yeah, I think I'm kind of the perfect audience for a set like this. Also, quick side note, I accidentally bought 2 of this when I was making a big eBay haul, so I'm going to showcase what 2 of these combined together looks like. The box art is the kind of normal sort of stuff you'd see with these Versus style of sets. It has all 4 figures shown off in a plastic window, and the back of the box showcases a render of the build and all of the accessories. It also showcases renders of the in-game counterparts for each figure, as well as their weapons, that being a shotgun, a grenade launcher, and 2 needle rifles. The instructions show a fuller version of the box art with a beautiful 3D render of the 4 figures. I really like this picture. I think it looks pretty fire. So yeah, now let's get into the figures themselves. So the first figure we're going to be taking a look at is going to be the Skirmisher. The set comes with 2 of this guy, and this is specifically the Skirmisher Major as they appear in Halo Reach. And I like this figure. I know it's a little bit contentious because they decided to use the normal human style torso, which gives it a very not hunched over look, which is kind of counterintuitive to their whole sort of vibe. Yeah, these figures are a little bit taller than they should be, a bit more humanoidistic, but I mean, like, it's still very easily identifiable as what it's trying to be. And I think the paint apps for what is there is pretty good. There is one thing that does kind of annoy me. So in-game, the skirmishers all have a bit of like a red detail underneath their neck. Mega completely ignored this on this figure. I guess it just wasn't in the budget for a lower price set like this. But yeah, these normal wide release sort of sets, they don't really have the same sort of printing budget that, say, Halo Heroes has. And yeah, I mean, Halo Heroes Series 16 even included a skirmisher minor, and this had more paint details like the yellow lights on the chest and also the red detail on the neck. It would have been really cool to see that over on this figure, but I mean, I guess if it's a super big deal breaker, you could always just do a head swap. One last nitpick about the paint detail, I do really wish that like the feathered quills on the forearms had some sort of like red dry brushing or something, because I feel like it's a pretty notable part of the character design in-game, and it's just completely absent on these figures. So it might seem like I'm sort of ragging on these figures, being a hater. I don't hate these, I actually quite like them. I think they're pretty fun to army build. I really like seeing them as a big group, but there are definitely a few things that are pretty glaring. I do wish that they would fix them, but you know, it's not that bad. So now we're going to get moving on over to the Spartan figures. So first up we have the CQC Spartan. And yeah, I'm really digging him. I really like the blue and the yellow. I think it's a good color combo. He doesn't have too much in the way of paint detail, but on the chest there's going to be the combat knife, which is painted really well in my copy. There's also a little bit of black detail right underneath there. Looks pretty good. The helmet, though, is where things get a little bit more inconsistent. So the black on the helmet looks pretty solid on my copy, but the visor is really sloppy. I was quite a bit disappointed by that. At a distance, it's really not that bad, but when you get up close, it's very noticeable. I really like the shade of gray that they used on the tech suit for these guys. I think it matches the sort of Halo Reach aesthetic really closely. I don't really have too much more to say about this guy. It's kind of what you sort of expect with unnamed Spartans by Mega. Pretty good, though. I do recommend it. And the last figure we're going to be taking a look at is the Air Assault Spartan. Quite a big fan of this one. It's very similar to the one we just looked at, so it's just going to be the blue and yellow color scheme. Yeah, I really like how it looks, and the visor paint on this one is honestly higher quality than the CQC Spartan, which is nice. It also has the same remote sensor attachment that Cat has on the side of the helmet. There's no paint on the chest or really anywhere else on the body, but to make up for it though, the figure does come with the jetpack, which is pretty cool. And if you haven't seen one of these jetpacks before, they just consist of 3 pieces. The little thrusters on the side can move entirely independently, so you can get some pretty dynamic posing. And this fits on any of the figures included in the set. It doesn't have to be just the Air Assault. The set also includes a black crate with a gray lid. This could be a little bit of a stretch, but I think it's a reference to these crates that you can actually see on the level that have the Oni logo. It would have been pretty neat to see the Oni logo printed in this set, but it's really not an issue in my opinion. And then for the primary build of the set, there's going to be one of these deployable barriers. Now, this is going to be based off the ones that you can actually see inside the game on the level. Now, of course, the one included in the set is much, much smaller than it actually appears in-game. You know, it's a small set, small part count, it's really not a big deal. I do like that they based it on something that's actually in the game instead of just making something up, but I can't help but feel like the colors are a little bit off. Still fine though, I think it's pretty versatile, even though it is based on a specific bit of set dressing from the game. I do think you could use this in really any diorama and it would work pretty well. And lastly, as is pretty common for mega sets, it includes 4 figure stands, one for each of the characters in the set. There is one that's going to be slightly larger that has 2 indented studs, so that way you can put the included clear stand to connect the jetpack, so that way you can have the air assault figure up in the air, or you can do some other dynamic poses with other characters. It's whatever you want to do. And as I promised at the very start of this video, here's what 2 of the sets together looks like, and it makes for a pretty awesome looking battle scene in my opinion. Of course, the main appeal in getting multiples of the set is going to be army building the Skirmisher Major, and don't get me wrong, they look amazing in big numbers. But I feel like we got to give some credit to the Spartans too, especially in that formation of 4. I think it would make for a pretty awesome looking fire team. But I think that's going to do it for my look at this set. I definitely do recommend it if you guys are able to get your hands on it. It's not too expensive on the aftermarket right now. It's hovering around $20-ish, I'd say. But definitely don't pay more than that for it. It's not worth it. But I think it's pretty cool. Also, I'm sorry that the video took so long to get out. I do have another review filmed, I just have to do the voiceover, and I have plenty of sets in backlog, so I'll have content going for a little while. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. Take care, y'all.